In September 2025, a viral online campaign mocking Nepo babies, the privileged children of politicians, swept the Nepali internet. And when the government blocked social media platforms in response, Gen Z protesters claimed the ban as censorship and took to the streets. One teenager's bullet in Sarajevo in 1914 triggered the deadliest war in human history. We're watching the exact same pattern repeat itself today. Gavrilo Princip was 19 years old when he pulled that trigger in Sarajevo. 19. You know how we mock teenage activists today for thinking they can change the world? This one actually did, and killed 80 million people in the process. The whole operation was a comedy of errors that would be hilarious if it hadn't unleashed hell on earth. 6 conspirators had positioned themselves along the Archduke's planned route through Sarajevo, armed with bombs and pistols like some discount terrorist cell. The first assassin threw a bomb that bounced off Franz Ferdinand's car and exploded beneath the next vehicle, injuring bystanders but leaving the royal couple unharmed. After that spectacular failure, the remaining assassins dispersed, their chance apparently gone. The whole plot should have been over. Franz Ferdinand should have lived to see another day, and maybe, just maybe, we could have avoided the 20th century's carnival of carnage. But here's where it gets absurd. Franz Ferdinand decided to visit the people injured by the earlier bombing at the hospital. But the drivers of the motorcade weren't told about the change in plans, so they took the wrong route. When Governor Pocherek realized they were going the wrong way, he called out to the driver to stop. And when the driver tried to reverse, he accidentally stalled the engine. Right in front of Gavrilo Princip. Now you've probably heard the sandwich story, that Princip just happened to be grabbing lunch when fate handed him a second chance. The myth is half true. He was at a cafe nearby, and when the stalled car appeared before him, he didn't hesitate. 1 shot, 2 shots. The Archduke and his wife were dead. A 19-year-old with a pistol had just rewritten the map of the world. So here's my question. If you were that driver and realized you just stalled directly in front of an assassin, would you floor it in reverse or abandon the car and run? Comment your answer below. Because that split-second hesitation didn't just cost 2 lives. It set off a chain reaction that's eerily similar to what we're seeing unfold in global politics right now. Fast forward to 2025, and we've got the same exact playbook running on steroids. Children and adolescents accounted for 42% of all terror-related investigations in Europe and North America in 2025, a threefold increase since 2021. The delivery mechanism has changed. Instead of anarchist cafes in Sarajevo, we've got Discord servers and encrypted messaging apps where teenagers become radicalized in real time. The pattern is so obvious it's almost insulting. Isolated teenagers, convinced they're fighting for some grand cause, armed with weapons and a social media echo chamber that tells them violence is justified. Social media algorithms deliver progressively extreme content based on user interest, and the relative anonymity afforded by the internet makes engagement seem less risky. Sound familiar? It should. We've been watching this movie for over a century. And just like in 1914, authorities are completely blind to the obvious historical precedent. A September 2025 poll found that 20% of Americans between 18 to 29 years old believed political violence was sometimes justified, higher than any other age group. Meanwhile, political violence researchers recorded 150 politically motivated attacks in the first 6 months of 2025, almost twice as many as there were at the same point in 2024. We're not just approaching 1914 levels of instability, we're already there. The difference this time? Instead of one teenager with a pistol in Sarajevo, we've got thousands of radicalized kids with access to the internet, weapons, and a global network that can coordinate across borders in real time. When the next Gavrilo Princip pulls their trigger, and the data suggests it's not a matter of if, but when, we won't have the luxury of blaming a stalled car or a wrong turn. We'll have engineered the conditions ourselves. Subscribe for more uncomfortable historical truth that explain today's headlines and watch this next. It goes even deeper.